Beneath the moon where shadows crawl, a castle stands with ancient walls, a gateway dark, an eerie call to where the night devours all. No light can pierce the castle's gloom, only whispers in the tomb. A cursed door, a twisted past, what horrors here were built to last. When shadows stir and silence speaks, a tale begins, the fire seeks. Deep within the Czech Republic lies a castle unlike any other. No fortification, no water source, no royal heritage. Seemingly it have no purpose. But when we take a closer look, the cold stone wall tells a tale. A history that is like the castle itself way more than someone would think so at first glance. Houska Castle, they say, was constructed not to keep invaders out, but to keep ancient horrors sealed in. Beneath its chapel lies a pit so deep, legend claims it have no end. Locals once whispered of winged beasts and inhuman cries rising from the dark. The Nazis occupied it, drawn by its power, hoping to harvest it so they can use it to be victorious. But centuries earlier, prisoners sentenced to death were lowered into the pit, only to be pulled back up, aged, screaming and broken. This is not just a ruin, it's a scar on the world. So come closer if you dare, as we uncover the truth behind one of Europe's most haunted legends, Houska Castle. Let us descend into the depth of lore and myth and see just how deep this pit of the legend truly goes. The Gothic castle was built in the 13th century. However, its location is very strange as it is not close to water. The location of its construction not strategically prominent, and no one lives here. Theoretically, Ottokar II built the castle, which had been puzzling people for centuries. Why was this castle built here? Well, according to local legend, this is no coincidence. The building was designed to lock up the demons that roam the area. The castle was built directly around a deep hall, which was believed to be the gate to hell. A chapel was built on the top floor of the castle, which was believed to keep back the monsters that would have been descended from hell to invade the human world. At first glance, you can't notice anything special in the castle, but when you look closer, you notice a few oddities. First of all, several of the windows in the castle are not real, consisting of a single pane of glass, but there's a wall on the other side of them. Then the castle has no water supplies, no kitchen, or no walls that were around it, and for several years after it was built, no one lived here. This is pretty clear evidence that the castle was not built for anyone to live here. According to local legends, the castle was built over a deep pit, and many believe it to be the gateway to hell. The pit was said to be so deep that when the locals tried to fill it in, no amount of stone was enough. Many said that strange creatures crawl out of it, including winged monsters, demons, ghosts, and a headless horse. Others even claim to have seen bizarre human-monster hybrids crawling out of the pit. People still claim that to this day, sometimes cars will not start in the area and that the castle grounds are haunted by strange, bleeding monsters after dark. In a deeply religious era, it's no wonder that such an evil place couldn't be ignored. So after much planning, it was decided that a castle should be built here, with a chapel to prevent the demons from escaping. According to legends, prisoners sentenced to death worked here, and they were given a second chance they could use during the construction of the castle, which was all their sins would be forgiven and they would be released if they dare to go down into the pit and tell what they saw there. The first to go down was a young man. After being lowered into the pit, the man began to scream as if he was fighting for his life. After being pulled up, the man was a limp wreck, unable to speak properly, and everyone was surprised and simply say terrified to see that he had aged almost 30 years, and then 2 days later he died. Needless to say, not many people followed the example of the first man after that, choosing the death sentence over whatever hell awaited them down there. The castle was completed in 1278. The chapel was dedicated to Archangel Michael, since in religious texts he was the angel who led an army against Lucifer when he rebelled against God. For this reason, the walls of the chapel are covered with religious frescoes, Michael fighting the dragon or watching over souls on the Day of Judgment. But these images are not the only ones here. The rest are quite surprising actually. Far from the religious image shown in the images of Archangel Michael, you can find images in which a female centaur is depicted holding a bow in her left hand. Now, it is very unusual that a pagan symbol such as a centaur appeared next to the images depicting the archangel, not to mention that the figure is left-handed, since at that time it was believed that if someone was left-handed, it was a symbol of the devil. Legend has it that the ghost of a monk in a black robe guards the entrance to the pit. Meanwhile, the castle's fortification face inwards, reversing its original purpose of keeping people out. This castle looked more like it was meant to keep something inside than anything else. As the centuries passed, the castle was home to several noble families. Another local legend has it that a Swedish person named Oronto lived here in the 17th century, who also practiced black magic. He is said to have performed many diabolical experiments in an attempt to unlock the secrets of eternal life. When the locals discovered what this man was up to, legend has it that 2 hunters broke into the castle and killed Oronto in his laboratory. After that, the castle stood empty and completely went to ruins until it was fully renovated in 1823. In 1924, the castle was bought by Joseph Simonek, the son of the CEO of Skoda. The building is still owned by his descendants today. In the 1940s, the castle was occupied by invading armies, and yes, you guessed it, these were the Nazis, which, of course, in a bad way, but strengthened the castle's creepy reputation. Following the Nazi invasion in 1938, Houska Castle was occupied by the Wehrmacht, who was responsible for the building until 1945. During this time, locals heard strange sounds and saw strange lights coming from the castle. It is no wonder that people began to believe that the Nazis, in their terrifying experiments, wanted to open the gates of hell, using this terrifying power to achieve their own victory. It is not really known what experiments the Nazis conducted here, as all records have disappeared or been destroyed. There are theories that say that they were conducting experiments here to create a so-called paranormal weapon, or that the castle was used to create super soldiers. While many of these theories seem unbelievable or over the top, it is important to remember just how much the Nazis did over the years and how many ancient treasures and artifacts they tried to find, including the Holy Grail, the Spear of Doom, and the Ark of the Covenant, to help them win the war. But this castle and its alleged demonic powers did not help them, and the castle was returned to the hands of the Simonek family and was forgotten until the fall of communism in 1989. The castle now is actually a very popular tourist attraction, visited by people from all over the world. There are even tours of the mysterious castle which talks about the legend and history. Visitors can see the chapel, which is said to cover the entrance to the gates of hell, the frescoes, and the various rooms. But to this day, people talk about ghosts walking the ancient corridors, while others have heard scraping sounds from under the floor of the chapel. Are these the demons trying to climb out? No one knows, and we hope no one wants to find out anytime soon. If you enjoy this tale, there's more to unfold, flickering stories in the fire's warm hold. But if this is all the time you have tonight, thank you for joining, for sharing the light. I whisper my thanks as the embers burn bright and wait for you here in the soft firelight. My name is Creeps. Thank you for listening.